that something should be modeled different, and we can discuss because there are always choices. So here, basically, for the publisher, we have a name, we have a country, and a publisher publishes books and can publish multiple books. So we put the related entity and we mention that there can be many. And for the moment, we don't know how many, but we will have to identify the workloads and the cardinalities before choosing to embed it or not. Because a publisher can maybe have 10 books or 1,000 of them, and your choice in the physical data model can be different there. Books have, so maybe I should have mentioned before, data modeling is also the occasion where you define precisely what you call a book, for example. Because a book can be an instance of a book, like the printed version of a book, and you have two identical books, and there are two books, even if they have the same ISBN. Here we consider that a book is the abstract book with an ISBN, an author, and you may have multiple copies. So here we decide that in our library, we don't really care about the different copies of the book. We just say that we have a book and we have a number of copies, and that can change. And when we reserve, of course, we will check that we have enough copies, but we don't need the different details. For example, if we have, like we had in the slide before, if we had printed books and we want the condition of it, if it's excellent, new or old, then you will need to store that as different book. But it's also the occasion, if you do development-driven design, the idea of domain-driven design for your development, the idea is that with the domain, you have also a common language where everybody in the team understands what we call a book. And data modeling is the occasion to define it better. So a book is identified by an ISBN, then you know that multiple copies of the same book have the same ISBN. Okay, so book, when you look at the screen, you see that the book has also the year, the language, and related entity, the publisher. So you have both sides here, and we will see how we will store that, but for the moment we know that a publisher can have many books, and a book has one publisher. And it's good to know that even if we have a flexible schema, maybe one day a book can have multiple publishers, and that will be okay. We don't have to change everything, but at least at this point we consider that a book has only one publisher. And for the reservation, we have a reservation date, we have an expiration date, as we mentioned, and we have a user. So we have seen that. Next one, and this is where some people have seen that something was missing also there. So for the author, we have a name, an author can write many books. For users, you have a name, and there is also the role. When you go to the user, you see that there are some readers or librarians, so you need to store that. Just tell me if you think that something is not correct there or can be done differently. For the reviews, so we have a user that does the review, of course, so related entity, and book loan. So the idea is that you reserve a book and then you go to the library and then you have the loan. So it starts when you take the book, you have a due date, you must return the book before next week, for example, and in the screen you see that you have also the return date. So this is missing here. We should also store the return date. And the loan, you have the user who loaned, user borrowed, and book. Something also that someone has seen, looking at the application, seems that in some data you have the return date that is before the start date, which doesn't make sense. This is where you can use also schema validation for those kind of things, just to be sure. The application should not have this kind of bug, and it goes through the validation of the application, but always good if you know that the due date must always be after the start date, which makes sense. You can validate that in the database. For schema validation, we will go back on it at the end, but basically there is a strange syntax for it that looks strange, but it's the JSON syntax. So MongoDB did not invent this syntax. It's just the JSON validation syntax. Okay, any question or remark about what we have put there? Yeah?
Yeah, on the question on the publisher, if you go to publisher, one slide back.
Yeah.
So you say a publisher has many books, can be 1 million.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do I put there a foreign key? Which you say you don't do that. You say put the book value there. No, but if I want to show it, I will show it paginated anyway. I'm not going to show 1 million packers on the page. So.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. For the moment, the idea is just to identify the entities without the cardinalities that are behind. But it's good to see, and the point about what is in the screen is also important, because even if a publisher has millions of books, you will not display them or query them all at the same time. And this is where we will see that you may decide to reference it because there are too many, not to store a million of them, but maybe you will decide to store the most important one, the latest one, or whatever information you want to show in the screen.
Okay.
For example, I don't remember what is in the application, but in the application, if you look at a publisher and it has thousands of books, there is probably a query that will just show them by date or whatever, so maybe you have this choice there. But it's very important to understand how it is used and what you show in the screen. There is no reason to store together things where you just want a subset of it, because then you will read a lot of information that you don't need. But the idea is that the second step here will be looking at the workload, and for the workload, looking at what is displayed on the screen is a good idea, and also in the paper, in the printed paper that you have, there is some description about the workload that we don't see in the application itself. It's when you discuss with the user how the application will be used. Okay, any other questions on what we have seen entities? Yeah.
Now you store only the year, the publisher year, I saw for a book, and I was wondering why. Why would you not store the whole publication date?
That's a good question. I guess this is because on the screen there is only the year.
I can answer that one because the people that built this application were lazy.
Okay. That's an honest answer. Thank you.
Yeah, I do not fully agree with that. If you display only the year and you need only the year, you can store the year. Then you have the choice of the data type. But if you have only the year and you store that in a timestamp, then maybe you will store that as I mean, you have the choice, and it can be also easier for the application. Usually, yeah, something may be important there. Usually, when you use MongoDB, the data model comes from the application. So first look at how it is in the objects in your application. In Java, do you use a single year or do you use a date or whatever? And this is probably what goes to this. I think the idea here is that you don't need more information, but you can decide to store more. Yeah?
I think we need another relation between book and reservation. So we need many relations from book to reservations.
Yeah, that's right. It's missing there. Usually when you have a relationship, you have it in both ways. I think there, it was not there first because it was lacking space on the slide, but I think also that in this data modeling, those who did it already had the idea that they didn't want to store it there, but at the point of identifying the entities, we should have all relationship, even if we know that we will not store them. Yeah, that's a good question. We had another question somewhere?
Yeah, I had the same questions, but
Okay.
then related to reviewers. So the book also has a related
Yeah.
reviews.
We have reviews, and we review books, so of course books.
Yeah.
Book is very central there, so there are many relationships. Sometimes it can be also interesting to have an idea about the navigation, how it will be navigated. For example, if we look at the book, do we need to know the reviews? Probably yes. And if we look at the reviews, we need the book. So, but there are some entities where the application will navigate only in one way. Maybe we don't want to list all the books from an author, for example, in an application. But yeah. Usually, when we look at the related entity, we should have both ways. Yeah.
I'm thinking the way that this use case is implemented, right? I think you might not need the start reservation date in the reservations, because when someone comes to pick up actually the book,
Yeah.
the start date when they physically come pick up the book is stored, right? But the reservation date when they start to make the reservation, it's actually not used anywhere. You just have your expiration date, which is created at the moment, right? So
That's a good point. Yeah, if you have the expiration date, yeah.
but just in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
use
yeah.
case.
No, that's a good point. Instead of reservation for expiration, if we have expiration, maybe we can. Yeah.
Because if they don't come to pick it up, it's deleted, the reservation. And if they do come to pick it up, then you have the book loan instead. Right?
Yeah. And it's not displayed the reservation date in the screen.
It's the countdown of how many hours until the expiration date, right?
Good point. Maybe to troubleshoot the problems it can
Could be,
be a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
difficult, but from the entity point of view, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so that's also something that is really interesting. You can see that there are some questions. Here we start from an application that is there, but usually in data modeling you will discuss with the users, and some things can change. For example, at some point maybe you don't need a date, and then the user comes later telling you that you need to store more information. So it can evolve, and it's normal to have those questions, and it's normal that there is not a single data model. Okay, then we will look at the relationship. At the workload before the relationship. So the workload is, we see what is used, the static view of the data, and now we want to understand how it is used, because you will not build the same physical model for an application that just reads information compared to an application that will use the same entities but writing a lot, updating a lot, for example. And this is where, in the third page, in the worksheets, you have some more information. And this information comes with discussions with users, but you may need to calculate other information. So the idea here in this exercise, and again we will do the first one together, the idea is that you have some information that is given, for example, how many active users, on average, they reserve 3 books per month, but what you want to know is how many new reservations you have per day. So this is a simple calculation where how often do you create a new reservation, and you just multiply the users, know that you have 3 reservations per month, and you want it per day, so you do the calculation, and then you know that you expect on average 10,000 reservations per day. Something very important, this is a rough idea, you don't need the exact number. What is important here is to know that every day we have thousands of reservations, not one, not millions, because we will take decisions on that when it comes, for example, to embedding or referencing. Second thing that is important, here we calculate a lot of averages, but you need to think about your database also, even if the activity is not all the same. For example, if you are in retail, the average during the year is probably different from what happens at Black Friday, and the database must be able to work with that. Or, for example, we have reviews on books. Probably most of the books have 10, 20, 100 of reviews, but there is probably one very popular book with a lot of reviews. So you have also to think about the outliers, not only the averages. But the goal is here to get an idea, to calculate some of those numbers, and then understand if our database is used mostly for read, for write, and the different cardinalities. Okay, so the same, I'll let you do those calculations, and we will look at it together. And it's the occasion also to ask any question about it.